The paycheck illusion. You're not broke because you don't earn enough. You're broke because of what you do the moment money touches your hands. If you're living paycheck to paycheck while pulling in a decent salary, this isn't bad luck. It's not the economy. It's a pattern, a loop. 8 invisible habits running your financial life from the shadows. And by the end of this video, you'll see every single one of them and exactly how to break them. Sit down. This is going to sting. But pain is the price of waking up. A decade inside the money game. For 10 years, I lived inside the world of finance. Numbers, markets, portfolios, debt structures. I studied them like a soldier studies the enemy. But the most valuable lesson I ever learned wasn't on a balance sheet. It was inside my own bank account. Most people don't have a money problem. They have a habit problem. Wealth doesn't reward intelligence. It rewards behavior. Today, I'm handing you the 8 habits that quietly drain ordinary people, and the exact way the wealthy break free from each one. Habit 1. The leftovers trap. Most people handle money backwards. The paycheck arrives, rent gets paid, bills get paid, subscriptions, dinners, entertainment, all get paid. And then, if anything's left, a few crumbs at the bottom of the account, they call that savings. Spoiler, there's never anything left. The 3.5% lie. The average American saves just 3.5% of their income, less than half the historical norm of 8.4%. Think about that. People pour their entire lives into work, 40, 50, 60 hours a week. And keep pennies. Robert Kiyosaki called it paying yourself last. I call it the poverty loop. Because if you only save what's left after spending, you will always spend everything. That's a mathematical certainty. Pay yourself first. Wealthy people flip the equation completely. The second income hits the account, a slice gets moved out. Automatically. Untouchable. Invisible. 10% minimum. Before rent, before bills. Before life touches it. Treat your future self like your most important creditor. Because that's exactly what they are. When I first started, I told myself I couldn't afford it. So I started with 5%. 3 months later, I didn't miss a single dollar. I started cutting waste naturally. Not because I had to, but because for the first time in my life, I was watching wealth grow. That's the psychology no one tells you about. Saving doesn't restrict you. It rewires you. Habit 2. The debt drug. We've normalized something that should terrify us. People are now financing groceries, clothes, birthday gifts, coffee, on credit cards charging 23% interest. 23%. The same rate a loan shark would have charged 100 years ago. Except now it comes with a logo and a rewards program. The cash rule. Here is the rule I live by. Write it down. If I cannot buy it in cash, I do not buy it on credit. Period. No exceptions. No, but it's on sale. No, but it's just this once. Because the second you borrow money to buy something that loses value, you are working backward. You're paying tomorrow's energy for today's impulse. The impulse fades in days. The debt stays for years. The trillion-dollar cage. The average American carries $5,595 in credit card debt. Collectively, the country sits on $1.23 trillion in plastic chains. 61% of people with credit card debt have been carrying it for over a year. Credit card companies don't make money when you pay on time. They make money when you struggle. That's not a side effect of the business. That is the business. And those rewards points, those cashback bonuses, they evaporate the moment you carry a balance. You're not winning. You're being farmed. Habit 3. No cushion. Imagine driving a car at full speed with no brakes. That's life without an emergency fund. One unexpected event, a car breakdown, a medical bill, a layoff, and the entire structure collapses. Yet this is exactly how most people live, not by accident, by default. The $1,000 test. 43% of Americans cannot cover a $1,000 emergency from savings. 24% have zero emergency savings. None. Only 46% have enough to survive 3 months without income. Read that again. Half this country is one bad week away from financial freefall. This isn't a statistic. It's a silent crisis. And it's not because people don't earn enough. It's because no one ever taught them the architecture of safety, the transmission lessons. I learned this lesson with a knife. My car's transmission failed. $2,800. Instantly. Zero notice. I had no cushion, so the repair went on a credit card. 8 months to pay off. $3,200 by the time the interest was done feeding. That moment carved itself into my brain. Because the real cost of having no emergency fund isn't the emergency. It's everything the emergency triggers afterward. Build 6 months of expenses. Liquid, untouchable, invisible. That's not paranoia. That's freedom. Habit 4. Financial blindness. You cannot reach a destination if you don't know where you're standing. Yet most people have no idea what they actually earn, spend, owe, or own. They live financially blind, driving fast with their eyes closed. And the worst part? They blame the road, the invisible treadmill. There's a phenomenon called lifestyle inflation. Your spending silently expands to match every raise. Earn more, spend more. Bigger house, faster car, more subscriptions, more takeout. The income changes, but the bank account doesn't. That's the treadmill, running harder, going nowhere. Wealthy people break this by tracking every dollar. They know their numbers, their assets, their liabilities, their direction. Because awareness alone, just seeing the truth in black and white, creates the accountability that forces behavior to change. The statement audit. Tonight, pull up last month's bank statement, categorize every single transaction, every coffee, every app, every late-night impulse. I guarantee you will find $200 to $300 per month vanishing into things you don't even remember buying. That's $2,000 to $3,000 a year. Disappearing, just because no one was watching. Habit 5. Expensive comfort. For many people, shopping has quietly become a hobby. Not a need, not a celebration, a coping mechanism, retail therapy. The dopamine hit of a new package at the door, a 2-day high that costs you a 2-year debt. I'm not here to shame anyone, I've been there. But understand this, every dollar spent on comfort today is a dollar stolen from your freedom tomorrow. The save-earn equation. Wealth has 2 engines. You either reduce expenses or you increase income. The real game is doing both. Cashback apps and coupons might save you $50 a month. Nice, but that's nothing compared to building a $500 monthly income stream. Cutting has a floor. You can only spend so little before life becomes joyless. Earning has no ceiling. Investments, promotions, side businesses, digital products, skills, negotiation. The ladder up is infinite. The hole down is shallow. And most people spend their entire lives digging instead of climbing. The numbers don't lie. Save $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year. Increase your income by $500 a month. That's $6,000 a year. Even after taxes, 3 to 5 times the impact. Same effort, different direction. Habit 6. Ignoring the tax game. Taxes will likely be the single largest expense of your entire life. Larger than your house. Larger than your car. Larger than your education. And yet, most people never learn the rules of the game they're forced to play. They just hand over the money and hope for the best. The legal advantage a Roth IRA, fully legal, fully accessible, can end up hundreds of thousands of dollars ahead of a normal taxable account by retirement. Same money, same time, different tax treatment. That's the gap between a comfortable retirement and a forced extension of your career. Wealthy people don't just earn more, they keep more. They learn the system, or they pay professionals who do. You don't need millions to start. You need attention. Look into Roth IRAs, ISAs, tax-advantaged accounts. If you run a side hustle, learn the deductions you legally qualify for. The tax code rewards those who read it. Habit 7. Waiting to invest. Once your emergency fund is built, the next move is investing. Not gambling, not hype coins. Real, diversified, long-term investing. Because money sitting in a checking account doesn't sleep. It slowly dies. Inflation eats it alive. And the longer you wait, the more brutal the math becomes. The price of delay. Invest $10,000 today at 7%. In 30 years, you have roughly $76,000. Wait just 5 years to start. You end up with around $54,000. That 5-year delay costs you over $22,000 in pure, silent, invisible growth. The same is true monthly. Someone investing a few hundred a month in their 20s will end up with more than double the person who starts in their 30s. Same money, different decade. Massive gap. Time in the market beats timing the market, every single time.
Habit 8. Saving without earning. You can change your finances by cutting costs. You can change your finances by raising income. The wealthy do both, but they prioritize the side with no ceiling. Saving has a floor. You can only cut so deep before you're cutting into your life. Earning has no limit. Skills compound. Reputation compounds. Networks compound. Income compounds. 10% that changes everything. A 10% raise on a $60,000 salary is $6,000 a year. That's the same as finding $500 in monthly savings, every single month, without giving up anything. Both are powerful. But only one keeps growing as your career, your skills, and your values scale upward. The action protocol. None of this changes by watching a video. It changes by doing one thing, today. Not 8 things. 1. Pick one. Master it. Come back. Pick another. That's how transformation actually works. Quietly. Repeatedly. Brutally simple. Action 1. Automate. Set up an automatic transfer. 10% of your next paycheck. Moved into a separate savings account. The day you get paid. Not the day after. Not when you feel ready. The day. Because if you wait to feel ready, you never will. Action 2. Track. Open a spreadsheet. Or download a tracking app. Spend 20 minutes logging every dollar you spent last month. Every coffee. Every subscription. Every late-night purchase. Awareness is the first weapon. Without it, every other tool is useless. Action 3. Target. Calculate your real emergency fund number. 6 months of essential expenses. Not luxuries, survival. Write that number down. That number is your first financial mountain. Climb it before you climb anything else. The quiet revolution. These habits don't break overnight. They break with one small, consistent decision. Then another. Then another. Months from now, you'll look back at the version of you watching this video right now, and you won't recognize them. That's not motivation. That's mathematics. Drop a comment. Tell me which action you're committing to this week. I read every one. Because the people who comment are the people who actually move. And the people who move, eventually arrive.